theyeshiva.net.
It is something that is difficult to understand. You know, the menorah in the Bet HaMikdash, in the Holy Temple, which we commemorate in our Chanukah menorahs every night of Chanukah, was an intricate, complex, and nuanced, extraordinary piece of art. And yet the Torah says it had to be made of one piece of gold, miksha, which made it extremely difficult. They had to take one piece of gold and hammer it out into 7 branches with all of the intricate designs that the menorah had to have. Why? Couldn't they just build separate pieces and then weld them together, as they did with most of the holy pieces of furniture in the Holy Temple, like the ark and the table and the altar, etc.? One of the explanations for this is given by the Baal HaTanya, by the Alter Rebbe, and he says the menorah represents the Jewish nation, which was sent down to this world to cast a spiritual and divine glow on our entire planet. That is why it must be made of one piece, because we are really one. We are indivisible. We are cohesive. We are an integrated entity. It's only later that we are branched out. We become differentiated from each other. But if you trace us back to our core, we are one. If you would build a menorah from separate pieces, you miss the point, because we're not separate. We're essentially one. And the deeper you go into yourself, your core, you find that oneness with other Jews. You know, last year, December 20th, 2017, was the 8th day of Chanukah. At 3:00 p.m., a man by the name of Mark Denny was freed from prison in New York. He has been in prison for 30 years. He was sent into prison in December 1987. He was accused of violating a young girl in Burger King and other crimes. And after 30 years, the judge said it was a mistake. There was no evidence. And he freed Mark Denny after 3 decades in prison. He was put in there at the age of 17. He came out at the age of 47. Who was there to greet him when he came out of prison? 4 people. His lawyer, his mom, and 2 relatives. And we wish Mark Denny the greatest success and the most beautiful and productive life. 2 hours later, the same day, December 20th, 2017, the 8th day of Chanukah, around 5 p.m., another prisoner was freed. His name, Shalom Mordechai Rabashkin, a Chabad butcher of Iowa, who was sentenced to 27 years in prison. 5 attorney generals advocated on his behalf, maintaining that there was a travesty of justice here. Professor Alan Dershowitz has fought for years to commute his sentence, and indeed, President Trump commuted the sentence of Rabashkin and let him go on the last day of Chanukah, 2017. He came out of prison in the nearby gas station. Many Hasidim of a different Hasidic dynasty, Satmar Hasidim, were there to greet him and dance with him. Yoidi Lashem Chazdoi, Yoidi Lashem Chazdoi. As he came to Monsey, where his home is, thousands of Jews packed the streets, welcoming him, dancing, celebrating. In Borough Park, close to 10,000 Jews. In Crown Heights, a whole night they were dancing, and in the next few days, celebrations erupted everywhere around the world. I was the next day in Chicago, in Skokie. I gave a lecture in the yeshiva, and the boys asked me if I could dance with them after my lecture. Why? Most of these people never saw him, never heard his name before this entire story. The answer is Miksha Achas Zahav. We are one. Our people are one. We are indivisible, even after we are branched out into individual people, individual communities, individual sects, individual groups all around the world. Our greatest and deepest truth is that we are one. Happy Chanukah.
This class is brought to you by theyeshiva.net. Please help us continue the classes. Make even a small contribution at www.theyeshiva.net/donate.